most online events. We're about to get started momentarily, though. There we go. All right, we're all good now. Right. Welcome to the panel. The main topic being the evolution of game development. I'm joined by Chris Hong from Realtime Multiplayer, David Carrasco from Guerrilla Studios, Shahar Sorek, Overwolf, Oliver Kern, Target Gamers, and your moderator for this panel will be Artem Chupryna from Game Lead. Gentlemen, thank you so much for taking the time from your busy schedules to be with us today. I'll leave the stage to you. Have fun.
Thank you.
Yeah, wonderful. So hello, guys, first of all, and thank you for joining this panel discussion. I'm pretty sure it's going to be extremely interesting for all of you. And first of all, let's start with the introduction. So this is Artem. I'm from Quali, work as a game lead in the mobile publishing department in this game industry more than 4 years, previously with the background as a 3D artist, and excited to be here.
Well, I'm David Carrasco. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Guerrilla Studios. Been in the industry for a little over 20 years, working in other companies like Electronic Arts, Ubisoft, Nintendo of America, and Atari, among others. Very excited to be here.
Hey, my name is Oliver Kern. I run a small consultancy firm called Target Gamers. I operate as an advisor, business angel. Last 20 years I've been in games. Before that was in advertising. And seen a lot of shifts during those last 20 years. So it's going to be exciting to discuss also like what's going to happen over the next 10 years maybe.
Yep. Hi, I'm Chris. I'm a founder and the CEO at the Cosmos, the Cosmo Universe. Actually, my company name just changed 2 days ago, so there was no chance to update the name here. So anyway, I'm living in Finland. I joined in the game industry for almost 30 years, and mostly my background is the real-time multiplayer, the back-end system, live service technology. So I'm really excited to join here.
Hi, everyone. My name is Shahar Sorek. I'm the Chief Marketing Officer of Overwolf, which is the world's biggest UGC ecosystem with over 1,500 titles, some of the biggest in the world, from League of Legends, Warcraft, Minecraft, GTA, and whatnot. In my past, I was the founder and CEO of a gaming studio called 7 Element Studio. We delivered 2 strategy games to the market. One was a browser-based strategy game, and then a mobile free-to-play strategy game. Basically entered in the era of free-to-play when nobody thought that model would work. Excited to talk about all the fun things on the road.
So wonderful. And as you can already understood, I'm from mobile development. That's why I will be even more curious to get to know more information from the PC side of development, how it's going here. And first of all, the first question will be marketing trends, how it actually impact during the production ideation, from where all the new studios developers should start their ideas.
I can jump in since it's marketing. And probably more of a relevant, since you're mobile, I'll start with a mobile trend. So in general, there's a big trend of paid user-generated content in mobile, in particularly. And when I mean that, I mean that's content that is explicitly crafted to acquire users for a game. Now, it's a paid strategy, advertising strategy that uses the streamer or the creator or the gamer that shares their reviews and gameplay. Now, what's interesting about this very happening user acquisition technique now, that it could also be used on games pre-launch and also in ideation phases. So when teams are having kind of their first alpha or maybe even their second alpha, they could hire a bunch of these creators. It doesn't cost much, and they can craft unique USPs, see, around the game and how it's valuable, and the unique selling proposition and how it looks, and then run A/B tests with groups on this type of strategy. So you can gauge your game when you're running it at scale and get users, or you can do A/B testing on what works as a small team and kind of refine and recalibrate the game to make it better.
Yeah, I think even in PC and console, it is about very, very early on, building some kind of small fan base, right? So I think that Shahar, you were just mentioning like mobile. I do think that even in like PC and console, you don't want to kind of work unless you're like, I don't know, Activision or whoever. You don't want to work for a few years to then figure out, oh, nobody's really interested in this, right? So you need to kind of still very, very early on kind of figure out like who's your audience. You need to kind of build like a community. And I do think the games that are successful anywhere, be it mobile, console, whatsoever, are the ones that actually very, very early on are able to get like interest and some community that wants to be part of that whole process, probably. Those are the ones that actually then on their launch, have some success.
Yeah, and for my experience, that's like I was working at the Merge Mansion, until this summer, and maybe some of you know the Metacore had a very big campaign, the advertisement on the TV show, something like that, and actually that those kind of a marketing really impact the game development also. I mean, it's like the advertisement itself was not really considered beginning of the game development, but when all the marketing materials went out, the game needed to also shift into a little bit more close to what we did together with the marketing. So live ops totally changed it. We made some new change of the game contents, even the game campaign or the game event and play system also a little bit changed, and I think that was really good idea. I mean, it's like when you saw the advertisement or something on the social media, if you face totally different things in the game, then it could be not really happy experience, I guess. So these days marketing trend changing also happening quite a lot in the game contents itself. And as you know, it's like a long time ago we was selling the boxes. We was more focusing on the graphics, the single illustration, how to attract the players, not just, even it was different from the game itself. We just redesign everything, all the characters, all the images, and then make it very fancy poster or the box, something like that. But now these days, everyone knows, okay, the advertisement or the marketing, then it have to be same as the game. We are expecting the same things also inside the game. So the game now is going very, very close with marketing. Yes.
And I will say, I completely agree. There's a big shift from the trade marketing past, where everything was sales point, to the now more online and media, like social media marketing oriented. Lots of most of the budget dedicated to marketing goes in that direction, when not so long in the past, it was mostly focused on magazines and trade marketing, altogether. One thing that we've been noticing is the guerrilla marketing techniques, working with very small influencers, trying to get some heat up the game, from the studio, even trying to connect with the studio itself rather than the games that the studio is making, with these influencers and with the community, and trying to make that emotional connection, so any game, any product, any result that they produce will be followed and will be received with much higher spirits than just a campaign dedicated to a single product that will be released at X point in time.
It's
I
interesting.
think maybe one more thing to add. I think the big change is that like 5 to 10 years ago, it was always like, okay, let's build an amazing game, and then the users will find it, and it will build itself, etc. These kind of things, yeah. Maybe not so much for like PC console. They were always about like big launch, etc. But especially like in the free-to-play world, it was very much like, okay, let's first of all build an amazing game. The users will come. What has changed is that, you know, without marketing, there are too many good games, right? It's you have for everything. You have an amazing product. So marketing has become definitely much more important, and a lot of studios obviously still want to believe that, you know, it's product first. And I do think that, you know, the product still needs to be great. Don't get me wrong there. But if you're not really well equipped with regards to marketing, you have no chance whatsoever.
Yeah, definitely. I would agree, especially from the mobile development perspective. So you just need to be aware what's currently works on the market. And sometimes it's just not the right time to release your game. It can be extremely engaging, absolutely polished, great core loop, but it's just not right time for your game. So before any ideation, just marketing trends research what your user base will be, especially if you are even, let's say, hybrid casual product like development, or even, I mean, hyper casual anyway, like transferring to hybrid casual, but or casual as well. So just know who's your audience and what they're required right now from the market. That's why the next question will be, in this case, is what's the main difference and you think challenges in mobile development compared with the PC development? Because we know that, let's say, split it simply, there are like 3 stages: pre-production, which we already discussed, of course, marketing trends, impact, how we usually start all the journey of this development. However, there is also phase which calls the most time consuming is production. And the last but not the least, the most crucial part is live ops. How like time consuming requirements for this, all of these 3 different stages, in your opinion?
So I could start here and say that there's a big difference between live games that have a constant connection, a constant interaction from the audience, from your public that are playing the game, and they may need to be connected, playing with each other, sharing leaderboards, things like that. And other games such as adventures or platform games that have no connection. So in those cases, the live ops part decreases dramatically compared to those live games that require constant patching, revision of the performance trends, and checking for cheating. I don't know. There's so much work just there that it's absolutely astounding. So in those games that are more in the premium non-connected side, which is more what I'm working on lately, the live ops will change or will switch into the game support DLC side. So it's definitely challenging, because sometimes you are just working with your running money, and you always have to be considering how much you can invest in that area, and that time for patching, improving, etc. plus DLC. And if your publisher or investors are not considering that part, you may be only running on the extra funds that you may have. And if you are self-publishing, then you are definitely just working with whatever funds are coming from the sales of your game or any extra conditions, any extra products that you may have. So that's always an extra challenge. So the size of that part, the extra part, can be very, very, very different depending on the type of game, not only mobile and PC console, but also the style of game. And I would say it's changed so much in the late years, because we can only see some examples with No Man's Sky or Cyberpunk that have like eternal almost post sales support for the game.
I can jump. Go ahead, Oliver. Go ahead.
Okay, well then, just quickly, 2 notes from my side. I do think, like for some of the games, I was CMO at Jagex. They launched RuneScape, I think, like 2006 or something like that. So they have now we're close to 20 years of that game. Well, no, actually, they launched a little bit earlier. So we're at 20 years or something like that. And I would say for that game, it's like the whole company is only doing live game, right? The 200, 300 people there that are working on RuneScape. So everything is kind of their live ops, right? It only works, obviously, once you have like a big enough and dedicated audience. Same when I was at Lockwood Publishing, we had this lovely virtual world called African Life with like a bit more than 1 million people per day. And they're also, I mean, same with Jagex, it was like constant publishing of content. And that is very expensive, meaning you need lots of people, etc. I do think that once we have some AI tools popping into real production, and that will come hopefully, then I do think that operating games in terms of the content treadmill may become a little bit cheaper. But it's still it's a massive burden, and people definitely do underestimate the effort it takes to constantly every week have a new content update, for example. Yeah.
So I'll since we opened the live ops and focused on that, I would just say that from our perspective, from the Overwolf perspective, there's a big difference between the two currently. Is that for PC you can enable user-generated content in a much easier way and deal with the content demand from the demand side, from the gamer side, in a much more effective and robust way. So when you're talking about live ops, it's the company's 24/7. They have in my company, when we had a mobile strategy game or the browser base, we had a unit called the Night Watch. You're up all the time because tickets are coming in. There's problems all the time. The more you scale the game, the more issues come. You're unprepared for the issues. You need a very unique team and a balance in the team that knows how to answer live ops. So when you're running a deeper game, which PC at large, it's not a truthful statement, but it's 80-20. 80% PC games are much deeper and have a real deep narrative pocket to them. So players are way more also patient with you distributing content and handling their issues live ops than the mobile game, which your jeopardy of or your risk of losing users is tremendously higher. So the user-generated aspect, the aspect that PC games offer a deeper experience, you don't need to when you plan and work the game, you don't need to think about the space and arrangement of the screen and all sorts of things that really make a difference between the two platforms. Gives leeway to more patience with live ops, and eventually is one of the saving graces and allows the game to live a bit longer. Mobile games are a much more ruthless landscape. People drop out in a heartbeat if they have issues, if live ops not working. They're in matches. they could get disgruntled very easily. It's a completely different user experience in that sense.
Yeah, Shahar, you really touched the great point, and that is the one reason I'm having a break after 30 years of my development. Yes, the real-time multiplayer world is really exhausting for the developer and publisher. But anyway, yes, the one big thing, yeah, I agree. Like contents area is totally different between the mobile and PC. Especially the quantity. I think that's the players demanding from the players are like their expectation. Yeah, players' expectation is totally different. Yeah, if you are playing the mobile game, even that's the online multiplayer, you're not expecting to have that huge amount of contents everywhere. But yeah, on the PC, isn't it like you probably already have an experience with Fortnite, the huge lot of contents everywhere. Yeah, we play the World of Warcraft. So yeah, it's totally different in the contents wise also. The live ops, yeah, I think that's really also a very good point. The one of the big difference between mobile and PC console, from my perspective, is mobile has much more nice and good existing platforms. Like there's a lot of things already there, and then we can combine that. Even like for receiving the player feedback, we don't need to implement the system by ourselves. We can use the Google Play, the Apple App Store player review already there. Yes, the PC console has a Steam, but if you're not working, if you're not publishing in Steam, you have to build by yourself. Yeah, so those things are quite different from my view. Also, when you developing the game, yes, because of that, quite a lot of hands-on work you have to do a little bit more in the PC console because of those things. So yeah, but anyway, yeah, as I told you, my technical background is a little bit more to the real-time multiplayer and backend. So yeah, just only for the backend perspective, it's not very much different. Yeah, just because anyway, the PC or the mobile is another type of device at the end of the network. So anyway, the server side is quite similar to each other, but yes, facing the players is totally different.
Great. And looking back to all your previous experience, what's, let's say, the advice to a new studios you can give if, let's say, the question is small or big team to a long run to a big project, and what's, let's say, will be the pros and cons in each scenario?
I can jump in. Well, we're living in a very particular time in the industry. So I would definitely say go as small as you can. These are very hard times. And also, you really need to pay attention to the bottom line. You need to run a very thin and agile organization. That's general. I'll keep it simple. There's basically 3 lanes of deep knowledge and experience you want to engage. The first one is in your game genre, look at other games and see what are the best practices of the genre from every perspective. See, design-wise, UI, UX, everything. The second one is, and probably the second one is the most important, is monetization. Make sure you know when you're making money and how much you're making and how much money you're going to make. And I can't underestimate how important that is. So if you're in a free-to-play mobile environment, you're probably underestimating the railway and the mechanics that can cause your game to monetize really well. So again, look at the top games in the genre, see how they monetize. And they monetize not only by just having economy, they monetize by live ops. This is where it gets to be very tricky in mobile. And that's a huge one. And the third one, and I want to kind of pick up on what Oliver said before, which was for us critical, for the games we made was critical, is the community. The earliest you get in touch with a community and involve them in your game making experience, you're going to get 2 things. You're going to get hardcore fans that are going to be so attached to the experience and being part of the journey that they'll be able to weather the road and support the game throughout. That's one. And second, and I'm talking now more on the PC side, from the UGC side, you're going to have a UGC community. You're going to increase your chances to building a healthy, robust UGC community. So recapping, 3 things. 1 is just best practices in the game genre you're doing. 2 is monetization, and 3 is community. You need basically a lead in the team on all of them, or you have to be very experienced in all of them to get a good game off the ground.
Yeah, I think the market has completely changed. Like a few years ago, you could just basically have an idea, put it on a napkin, and some VC, out of fear of missing out, would give you like $1 million or two. That just doesn't exist anymore at all. You can have like the most experienced team, great idea whatsoever. Right now, there is no free money anymore, right? So that's why when Shahar mentioned like, okay, you need to be very, very small and to be able to kind of sustain yourself as long as possible, in essence, that is kind of the key thing. And you do want to kind of, because of that, also want to figure out like where's my space? How do I validate like my hypothesis? How do I get those kind of early fans, etc.? And I do think there are enough good practices also that came originally, I think, really from like the hyper casual days where people were just trying kind of marketability and testing things, etc. I've seen now with kind of the new kids on the block, meaning like Fortnite Islands and Roblox, very, very small developer teams just testing out some experiences to figure out like, okay, are there some legs? Because there you still have some discover, you can still get some discovery. In Fortnite, probably even for free still. Roblox is a bit harder these days already, but if you want to do some games, you need to be sure that what you're building will hit somehow the interest. Now, niches can these days still be big enough to sustain a small studio, so you don't always have to go after like the very, very big things and just say like, oh, I'm going to do a match 3 game because King has been so amazingly successful. I think that would be just killing yourself.
Yeah, and not only the financial part. Yeah, I totally agree that that's really important for the size of the team. Also, it's like we need to think about the size of the contents and how much we can deliver to the players, especially like example. Only this year, the Supercell, the CEO of Supercell, Ilka, he announced that they are going to extend the team. Because as you know, the Supercell is a very big, making a very big money. They have a huge games, but their size are really small. But they found out it's not, the small team is not good enough to deliver the enough contents to the player. Yeah, because it's like anyway, the contents development is kind of a labor consuming work, so needs more hand. So and if you are still in the production side before the launch the game, then you can, it's like you can deal with the time, you can spend more time to make more content. But if your game is already live, then you have to speed up. You have to reduce the period of the updating or the delivering the new contents to the player. So probably in those cases, maybe you need to think about how you can scale up the team also. But yes, the one thing I agree is like you have to really think about what is your kind of what's that what professional you really have in the game development. It's like just example, like this is just example. If you are not really good at art, then it will not be a good idea to extend your art team, because probably you will lose the control, or probably it will not be easy to manage everything by yourself. So the size itself is yes, financial topic, also related, the contents, the live ops, and also need to think about where are your strengths is coming from.
And to add on top of that, the game itself will go through phases that kind of require more or less of certain departments, and it's not a common practice to hire some people just for 3 months or 6 months or 1 year just for this. And when they are starting to ramp up and understand the project and the team and everything, then no, it's over, we don't need you anymore. So what you really need is to have a trustworthy partner for outsourcing, so you can always rely on that partner, on that or those companies, because it's really hard to have a single company that will offer everything you need. There are many 360 style outsourcing partners that will help other companies in many ways, but it's really hard for them to be excellent or to be aligned with your needs in every single aspect. So carefully choose your outsourcing partners, have them close by, so when you need them, you can add them to your team quickly, and you don't need to have a long ramp up that will cost time and the attention of your current team members. And also be able to have that relationship that will allow you to say, hey, I need you guys now, but I don't know how long I will need you. I may need 2 more people now. I may need 3 in the long run. Please have them ready. But that may only last for 6 more months. If you have that kind of relationship, when you can be honest and you can share those exact needs and those exact timelines, then they will be able to provide you with better, more focused teammates for that time. And for sure the rates in the long run will also be much more effective than just going with hey, I just found out that I need 3 more artists, just as Chris said. Let's find out who of these 3 or 4 art providers will help me at this point. It's much better to have a planning. Hey, I will need someone at this point, then QA, then localization, then some support for marketing, and have that kind of completely step through during the development of the game.
Yeah, I think that's a good point that you bring up there, David, because yeah, if you want to keep your core team really small, you still have, maybe big ambitions. It obviously changes a little bit the profile of the people that you need, because you need to basically be able to kind of be like an outsource producer in a way. You need to be able to absorb like an external team and manage them well, etc. So it does have like some different components there, I think. But I agree. I think that is definitely one of the industries that is still quite resilient. It's obviously has like a different mindset because you have to deliver. Whereas in game development, typically we have this notion of, oh, we're going to launch it when it's good enough. So, things can easily get delayed, but with like outsourced partners, yeah, they basically get paid on delivery of milestones. So, that gives you some, or should give you some how you say, peace of mind that that at least they will deliver their part, right? So I do agree. It's really important, and it has to be more of a partnership, as you mentioned, than just like, oh, we need these 50 pieces of art, please deliver by tomorrow or something like that. I think that's going to be taken by AI or somebody like in a year or so. But when you have like a real partnership where you can add like a whole team that knows how to work together, then actually you really get a lot out of that. It's more common, obviously, in PC games than in mobile. I think in mobile, very often these are very, very little projects. So then, like, yeah, I haven't seen that as much.
It's really interesting how you mentioned overall the process, especially really interesting with the outsource, because of course, as you explained, you don't need like game designer or someone during the whole process of production. So you can hire for like a period of time someone to deliver this chunk of work. However, we know definitely that the time against all the development. So you have like a really strict schedule. You need to deliver everything on time. That's why, what do you think? Right now, we live actually in a really interesting world where a lot of new tools appears on the market. A lot of templates can be used to speed up the process. And what's the current place of AI in the production pipeline? And overall, if you can share, of course, had you a chance to use it in your project, and what's the best practice you find so far?
If you want, I can jump in for this one. For example, in our case, we have a fairly large art department because our games are heavily artistic. They feel they have a more dramatic look and feel than maybe other games. So compared to other studios, we are skewed in that side. We have more people there. But still, with that being the case, we've been using some artificial intelligence tools to help us have more inspiration for certain cases where we couldn't think of other ideas, or we couldn't find certain elements after going through the internet and like looking with Google and other search tools for specific elements to have our original orientation to kind of create the concept for the game. So we've been using artificial intelligence to generate ideas where we can base our ideas after. We haven't in any case reduced headcount or changed the way we operate wholly, but we've been able to utilize these tools to increase the speed and increase the throughput for the concept department in many grades of magnitude, especially when they may be having that artistic drought where they don't have any more ideas, or they don't know how to continue discovering new I don't know, something for a new weapon, or we need to create a new environment, and we've gone through all of these different ages in time or spaces in a country or whatever, and we don't come up with new ideas, and we could wait, and and they can just keep trying new things, and at some point we may find something new. But with artificial intelligence, we are able to kind of bridge through that gap and create things that may not exist, that may be like completely upside down to what humans usually think, and from there we base new concept, new ideas, new creations, and then it goes through the art pipeline. So that is one way that we've been using AI, and it has definitely helped our concept department a lot. And I will say also very quickly, it's helped in some cases the development team when they had questions, or they wanted to review certain elements of a code, or they didn't come up with how to tackle a certain task. The ideas that will come from the artificial intelligence system just related to coding, were very good seeds for what they created later on for those specific tasks in the game.
Yeah, maybe one thing to add there is I don't believe that in game development we will see AI really taking away jobs. I think as an industry, we've always been good to rather increase budgets. So what the expectation rather is that AI will increase dramatically, like the throughput and output. So similar to what David was saying, like it can be used in ideation, it will be used at some point in production, but it doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to cut jobs or something. It's rather that somebody still needs to operate that. You will have then people doing slightly different roles, because at the end of the day, there still needs to be somebody to decide. At least at the moment, I do see like AI tools rather being assistants, so to say. And yeah, maybe one day they will completely take over. We will see. But I do think there will always be a human gatekeeper, be it an art director when it comes to art, or somebody else to say like, yeah, okay, this is actually really good. Let's go for this. So I do think that it will find its way definitely into production. So I made like 2 investments in 2023 into companies that actually are operating in that space. One is a company that is more on the game side content. They basically do like narrative driven simulation games. So there you can imagine like building different narrative strands is then much easier with AI, and they've advanced there quite a lot. The other one is a company called Layer.ai. They basically they basically really have like 2D production tools that assist game artists to really create like relatively quickly stunning results that some bigger companies are already using in production. So it will find its way. It's early days still, though.
Yeah, and I totally agree about Oliver's opinion. Especially the AI is not going to take over our job immediately. It should not be happen. But anyway, it's like isn't it like these days? It's like we all know. Even we work together with human, not the AI yet, but still the output is not exactly the same as intended when we started the design or the make the ideation. Yeah, it's like that. Yeah, even we have a very close communication for a few hours. We discuss, we prepare everything. The result could be different. And yeah, in that case, the AI is like we are just prompting the AI to ask about with the few sentence. Then yeah, it cannot be really same as what we intended at the beginning. Maybe in the far future, I don't know. Yeah, it could be if they can read our brain immediately, then probably AI can make something exactly what I'm expecting. But yeah, I don't believe it's going to happen in a short future. But anyway, yeah, not only that, it's like a programming side. Yeah, I got quite a lot of help from AI. Yeah, because not the code itself, at least the algorithm or like idea. Yeah, the AI is doing a quite nice suggestion. Sometimes their code is not really working. So yeah, I don't believe that the code from AI yet. But yeah, it's getting better. And also it's like it really reduced the what's that kind of investigation time. Yeah, so it's like we don't need to Google for several hours to find out the proper library or the some kind of a sample code, something like that. Yeah, just ask to the AI, and then yeah, the AI is going to help out. Okay, you probably can check this or find out this, something like that. Yeah, and also for the testing, yeah, it's quite okay. Yeah. Sometimes it's better than human to find out the typos in the in the code. Yes, absolutely. So yeah, so because of some typos or some using the wrong data type, yeah, the AI is really good to pick it up. That's those specifics. So yeah, I think yes, it's really reliable in those areas already.
Everybody said quite a bit, and I agree basically with everything. I would say that coming back to what the guy said before and Oliver mentioned, I think narrative and conversational-based AI, agent-based AI is going to be seen starting very soon in titles of next year. I think we're going to see that happen. Per the actual production line, very unlikely that in the next few years we'll see it. Game design requires the type of specificity and creation that is exactly missed by whatever AI is out there still. When a game designer, a skilled game designer, artist has a very specific idea, AI cannot generate touch or help that. That's going to be human based for a very long time. And personally, I use it just like Chris mentioned, and others here. I use it for everything marketing related, almost AI now today, supplements and helps, and it's basically the auxiliary forces behind a lot of what we do.
That's great. And the last question, which will be really interesting, it's your opinion about the prediction for the next year. What's the upcoming technology do you think will be implemented in the production pipeline?
I'll jump in and say, because it kind of continues, I think that, from what I started with and kind of our area, user-generated will continue to integrate and standardize for sure for PC games. More in the UGC creator paid advertisement, we'll see that all over the place in mobile. We're going to see the conversational AI agents come to the forefront. And another thing which is very interesting in terms of where the future is going, it's a notion also from our friends at A16Z, John Lay and Troy Kerwin, is that we are expected to have a new type of game engine, and they call it a real-time 3D interactive engine, where all the assets today. So until 2010, there were basically every game kind of dabbled in making its own game engine, and today we have a few game engines that everybody uses, but there hasn't been any innovation in the space, and it's expected now because of the AI advancement that and given that 3D experiences are kind of an amalgamation of art and sound and code and physics, is that we'll see something, I don't know if a fully AI native engine, but we'll definitely see a new type of engine that could tackle these issues in a way more efficient and robust way. So I don't know if that's going to happen next year, but that's definitely coming. I think that's something that we're going to see very soon happen in the next few years.
Yeah, I mentioned that earlier. I do think, like, in terms of tech, I think game developers need to go where kind of the free users are. They're not anymore on mobile, right? Google only wants advertising in their store. Apple only wants subscription service ultimately. So I think game developers will go to those big platforms like Roblox and Fortnite, and basically I do expect like small teams that are currently doing things there, they're going to be the next big game developers. That's my hunch, and they will use like UEFN and Lua. So that's the future.
Yeah, and yes, also top up from there, from my view also. Yeah, I think the multiplayer, the massive player management, the big database, those things is going to be one of the big challenge for quite a lot of games. As you know, yes, the AI itself is really big topic now, but you also need to understand AI could not be really like this without the network or the database itself. So yeah, those things also is a really big topic for the game technology for the future. And as you know, it's like maybe this is not a technical issue, but at the first question we talked about was social media marketing trend. Yeah, and from my view, I'm not a marketing guy, but yeah, from my feeling, says the social media even changing these days. Yeah, the platforms also changing these days. So probably there will be a new type of system, new type of platforms we need to work on. We need to tackle that all over it. Previously, it was really easy to link up with the Facebook or some of the social media, but yeah, it's like people are not only using the single platform anymore. Yeah, they are connected to everywhere, and because of that, probably in the future of the game technology also need to go somewhere deep into the network, link up with the multiple different platforms, even maybe the real-time video streaming, the game streaming, something like that. Yeah, because we know the Google Stadia or the some of the streaming game didn't really work well before. When I was working at Ubisoft, I was trying to port my game into the Google Stadia. It happened, but yeah, the player didn't really loved it somehow. But it's I think it's coming. Yeah, it's not today, but yeah, it will come someday. So and also it's like, as you know, there is the VR. The Apple also paying quite a lot of investment in the VR, the XR. Yeah, these days a lot of people talking about that again. So yeah, those kind of a new technology. It's not a new technology. It's the technology from what we already invest for a long time, and now it will come into the real commercial level of the live game in some point. Probably maybe not really next year, but yeah, quite soon, I guess.
I believe that's it. So thank you so much for who joined us to this incredibly interesting talk. And the next speakers will be in an hour. And right now we have a coffee break. Thank you so much and have a lovely day.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you very
you.
much. Bye-bye.
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 Bye-bye. Bye.
Happy holidays.
Yay.